Hello, and welcome back to episode 3 of Pentagon for Gold. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. I've certainly enjoyed making it. And as always, please do like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and leave any feedback you may have in the comments, as these all help the channel to grow. Since you were last here, we've had the winter transfer window, which takes place in February when managing in South Africa, and we've had something of a clear out. In a somewhat futile attempt at raising funds, we've sold several youngsters whose contracts were expiring at the end of the year. All the players listed from Tristan Silence onwards have left, and I made around £17,000 selling these players early after they had agreed to pre-contract deals with other South African clubs. Although it's nice to get some funds in, I'm still losing far more than I made from those sales on a regular basis, and I don't see how to improve the situation. I suspect it's because of the fantastic facilities here, which presumably cost a fair bit to maintain and run, and without the funding from Ajax, the finances aren't particularly stable. There's further bad news in that Liam Byrne and Keegan Johannes, two of the youngsters who are in and around the first team, have agreed to pre-contract deals with Sundowns and Amazulu respectively. As a result, my squad for next season is beginning to look smaller and smaller, and I'm losing some of my most exciting players. At the end of the last episode, we had just played Cape United and we'd got a 2-0 victory. Since then, it's been a bit of a mixed bag in terms of results. We got 2 draws against Sekokun United and Steenberg United, and then played a couple of friendlies. We then won a couple of games in a row, with our defence being pretty strong and actually scoring some of the chances that we made, before a draw against TS Sporting. After that somewhat disappointing result against TS Sporting, we managed to get a win against Maritzburg United, which is something of a surprise given that they are currently at the top of the DStv Premiership in South Africa. We followed that up with another win against Amaturks, before suffering our first league defeat of the season against Utongati. This was an annoying game, we absolutely dominated it as usual, and we went ahead, but then they scored a ridiculous free kick in the 55th minute and followed it up immediately with another goal. For today's game, we're going with a somewhat unorthodox team, since Cape Town All-Stars are currently sitting in 16th despite their pre-season prediction of 3rd. Liam Byrne gets his first start for me, although sadly he is leaving at the end of the season in any case. Cohen Stander has come in for Sabande, and Malatsi is replacing Narodian on the left. Moving into the game, we are definitely favourites for this, being first and with Cape Town being 16th, but given we just lost a game, you never really know. These things can always come back and bite you and ruin your dynamics a little bit, and we're immediately getting countered from our corner here. Let's try and prevent this. He's not got much support in Yembe, so hopefully we don't do anything silly like give away a penalty. Frustrating. Not a good start at all. Let's see what happens. And we're behind already. I had slightly worried that this would happen as soon as we got a loss, because having gone the entire season without a single loss, it would have been somewhat frustrating to suddenly lose it all. But that always seems to happen to me on FM. That's a fantastic pass, and what a response. What a brilliant pass that was from Malatsi. And Mostislager put it away really well. No doubt about it. Wonderful goal. Let's try and build on that. Didn't even go a full minute away from their penalty goal. We're not creating all that much so far, but sometimes it's just like this. As long as we're clinical today, that would be all I really care about. I just need to try and right the wrongs of the last game. Try and get the dynamics back on track. Peter's clearing it out. And Kube's got the ball now. Let's try and win it back. And Ace Sally has done exactly that. That's really good play. And into Makuma. Big chance. And he scored. He's actually started scoring since you were last here. He's got 3 goals since then. Obviously not an amazing conversion rate, but still certainly improving. And he's far ahead of Mkwango, who just isn't really a great option at all. Nice football here. Velapai, can he keep the ball? No, we've lost it. Let's not get counted here. And that's a pretty poor pass from them, so it's back to Mostislager. He's getting pressed quite well here, but can he get through? He's just letting him run at him. And here he goes again, and he's somewhat shanked that. Definitely an improvement since the goal. Stander's already a bit tired. He has been injured a fair bit this season, so he's not always fully fit, and at the moment he's recovering. Let's see what we can do. Let's hope this is a counter. Boyson into Nkube on the edge of the box. That's a fantastic goal from Nkube. Can't even be mad about that. That was a brilliant strike. How has he done that? Probably want to watch that from another angle. Boyson it was, passing it into him. No one really closed him down. He's just done a first time, pretty much no run up at all, and it's just a fantastic strike. Well, we should be winning this because Cape Town are not doing very well this season. So we're going to be a bit harsh on the boys. We've had a decent performance going forward actually, but defensively we've been pretty bad. And here we go, and there we go, Keenan Abrahams. He looks to be just about the only centre-back I'll have still at the end of the season. Tieze is probably going to be leaving as well. He's 34 and he's already a backup option, so I don't think I'll be keeping him around, particularly as he's on over £600 a week. Let's get Stander off because he is tired and definitely needs to come off. Velapai is nervous, so I'll bring him off the Mngonga. And who else? Let's bring on Butsaka for his debut. Butsaka is a player from my youth system. He hasn't played for me before, and he's also leaving at the end of the season, so he's not really my player anymore, but we'll keep going. Try and give as many players as we can the chances, and also we can rest Mossis Talaga, which is really good as well. Let's hope we don't give up this lead. Mukamela. I'd be content with a fourth goal. I feel a lot more comfortable sitting on that lead. But Saka now, chance to impress on his debut. Mukamela into Mngonga. That's a brilliant pass. It's probably offside. Yes, it is. Unfortunate because that was a really nice goal. Makuma had some decent movement there, just slightly timed his run wrong. For once, we're actually losing on expected goals, but still winning the game. Largely due to their penalty. Pui, unusual name, and good work to win it back. Into Malatsi. Oh no, Malatsi's given it away, and here's Michele with a chance. Pretty comfortable save for Leona in the end. Mukamela goes inside to Kupstad, and now Mngonga. That's a fantastic pass from Malatsi, and a pretty drab finish in the end. Easy for the keeper to save. Oh, this is where our high line does get caught out, but that's good work from Byrne. Keep winning these, please. But Saka, he's been pretty impressive since he's come on. He's really taken the ball and run at the opposition. Mukamela now, breaking past one player. Crossing it in for Sally, and we've scored. There we go, that's the game sealed. Very nice attacking performance from the boys today, which is not something we do very often. And I'm glad that we've managed to turn around that loss from the last game and not let it get us down. Can we get a fifth? Kupstad into the box for Butsaka. He's looked really dangerous, but that one was a little bit over the bar. And we lost that game in expected goals by a full 0.1 of an expected goal. But I would say we definitely deserved the win there. That was a really good performance. And certainly an exciting one for you guys to watch as well. Let's see. So we're still top, and FS Stars look to have... No, they have won their game. Maybe TS Sporting were the team that... Yes, they've drawn. Thanks to an own goal in the 82nd minute. And that means that we are once again a little bit clear at the top of the table. I do find it odd that Royal AM have such a good goal difference and yet are sitting fifth. They would be top of the league if it was all decided on goal difference, but I guess they've just had some games where they've scored a lot of goals and others where they've just lost by one goal or whatever. Some slightly odd transfer news. Gyro's looking to force a move, given that he's got work permit issues at the end of the season. I'd already had him transfer listed for months. I'm not quite sure why he's so upset about this. So, for the second game of today's episode, which is against Royal AM Football Club, we're playing a pretty much back to full strength team. Darren Johnson has replaced Ronaldo Lena, as we've conceded quite a few goals recently, and Keenan Abrahams has had to go to the right because Mukamela is a little bit tired. Tieze has therefore moved into central defence, and Burns gone onto the right hand side of the centre backs. Apollos is back in, Jesse Don's back in, and then Narodian is back in, as I wanted to rest him for this game. Heading into kick-off. I'm slightly worried for this game, as Royal AM seem to be a decent team, score a lot of goals. They do have the best goal difference in the league, despite being 6 points behind me and sitting in 5th. But I remember the first game of the season, I think, was against them, and we didn't really create anything. So let's hope that now that I'm a bit more established at the club, that can be changed for this game. Oh, that's a decent chance. Makuma probably should score there. It's a really good save, but he was pretty much right at the goal line. He should have done better. We've had to rest Keegan Johannes recently as he got a bit fatigued, which is rather disappointing. He has been actually statistically my highest rated player this season. Let's see if we can manage without him defensively. Somewhat of a risk given Tieze is very slow. Hasn't played all that much this season, but he seems to be doing quite well so far. Liam Byrne, second game, having never played for me before, he suddenly played 2 games in the space of 3 days. Narodian in. Is that a penalty? You know, he scored an own goal with it. Like, he should probably give the goal anyway. I bet we're going to miss this now as we go. Yep. What did I say? What did I say? Give me that penalty goal back. Narodian's tired. I wonder if he's injured. I'm going to say I'm not happy with the boys. I'm reasonably okay with how we performed. If we hadn't missed that penalty, it would have been a different story. Apollos into Abrahams. Surprisingly good cross, given he's a centre-back. Jesse Don with a decent effort from range, but can't quite get it on target. I think I'm going to have to bring off Narodian. Don't want him to get a more severe injury than he already has. So Dale Wakefield will now get his debut. He's also from my youth system, and he's also leaving at the end of the season. You may start to sense a pattern here. Mostilaga's not performing brilliantly in this game, but I'll probably keep him on for a little bit just to see if we can... There we go. He gets the assist. Admittedly from a corner, but we'll take it. Coop Stout with the header. He's been pretty good recently, actually. He's made the defensive midfielder position his own, given that Don was starting there every game for most of the season. That's quite impressive that he's really changed my mind. I definitely saw him as a backup before, but now he's sort of edged out Velapai. It does help that Velapai is leaving, so it makes me less inclined to play him. But he's still done a good job. Nyame, oh, that's poor defending, lads, that is awful defending. Cannot let them get behind us like that from their goalkeeper. I'm going to fire the boys up, because that was not acceptable. And it may be time to start making some substitutions. I don't want to bring off Koopstad, but he's tired. It's frustrating when your best player in a game is tired. Oh, that's brilliant from Apollos. That makes me slightly more okay to replace Koopstad. Let's put Don back into the defensive midfield position. Bring on Velapai, and Mositalaga might come off. Yes, I think we'll bring on Butsaka because we want to protect our best players. And Butsaka really impressed me in the last game. Very confused. Thought that was them scoring, but thankfully it's offside. Not quite sure what happened there. Has he gone early? Oh yeah, he's quite a fair bit offside. Offside trap. I'm not really sure that it was intentional. Did the job there. Apollos is now tired. Maybe I made the mistake in taking Mositalaga off first, but hopefully he can stay in for the rest of this game. Abraham's inside. Can Don do it again? Velapai. Nice bit of football here. Makuma, decent effort. a little bit dragged over the bar in the end. Now let's hope that this goal kick does not lead to them scoring another goal. It just might. Thankfully, Lolo has missed. But that seems to be a big issue. If you look at the expected goals, they've had 2 shots on target and they've scored. Very disappointing. But I guess that's the risk of a high line. It does allow me to really control the games, but it does leave me open to counter-attacks where they just whack it straight over my defence. And particularly when Chiesa is playing with his slow pace, it's a real struggle. But Bissaka has got his first goal for me. Given how he started his debut and this game, I'm kind of sad that he's leaving now. He's looked really good. He's got very good dribbling, which obviously contributes to him being very good at running towards the opposition players. But he's been just generally pretty dangerous all round. We've got quite a tired team now. Let's hope that won't cost us in our next games. We have got a big game in the Cup next against the top division team. I think it was SuperSport United. But let's see how it all goes. And we're now 5 points clear, although admittedly no one else has played, so that was always going to happen. Depending on how I do in the Cup, you may see me play some of those games in the next episode. If I don't get very far, I'll show you just the final 2 games of the season. There's not many games left. It's quite a short season for South African teams, and most of the games that I've got left are against smaller teams anyway. I've also noticed a slight issue with the schedule, which I've had on another save as well, where it's basically the same in the second half of the season as it was in the first. On another save I had an issue where I had to play the same teams at home twice or away twice, which was particularly frustrating when playing a big team. But this is another issue I've had on many of my saves where it's the same in both halves of the season. It's really frustrating. It's more just, it ruins the immersion a little bit, but it's a little bit frustrating. So I'll finish the season with Jamil Cosmos and TS Sporting, which will probably be in the next episode, and then we can start to see how much this club falls apart when all the players leave. So that's a wrap on episode 3 of Pentagon for Gold. As you can see, the finances are still plummeting despite all the players that I sold, but we are still top of the league and we have a little bit of a gap now, which is really, really nice. I'll see you next time, which will most likely be the last 2 games of the season, if not a cup game, depending on how we do. I hope you enjoyed and have a very nice day.